And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Symphony CEO Brad Levy to the Innovate stage.
Awesome. Yeah, it's corn. It's a big lump with knobs. It's got the juice. Symphony, it's a really beautiful thing. Anybody know corn? I hope so. If you're not paying attention to the digital world. So, wow, it's just, we've done this event now a couple of times this way, and welcome to Innovate New York 2022. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you in person and live streaming all over the world. It's no small feat to pull off an event like this in person and live streaming all over the world. But just in the last couple of years, this has become possible and even normal. And even a couple of years ago, it just wasn't. So if you're the old man on the porch, which you can be, I'd like the world to slow down and maybe a little less tech sometimes and less NFTs. Or you could be a kid marveled by the future. I choose to try to be there. And even today is an amazing example where just a few years ago, this was not possible to run in this way. The industry is absolutely on the move. Thanks to all of you spending time with us today, online and in person, we know your time is not anytime soon a renewable commodity. And we're going to be sure to use it wisely. So given the movement and that change is rapid and everywhere, we at Symphony, we hear it, we feel it, and we really see it clearly now. The change is exciting, and through it all, we're listening and we hear you. We're going to keep you secure without locking you in, and we're focused on connecting you to your network and doing it in a way that works for you. So, 2 years ago, 2 years of rapid change, and combined with a macro backdrop that just cannot be ignored. Never can, but today it's exceptional. It's led to a renewed focus in a number of areas. So, we're seeing a new flexibility, again, this event, that was unheard of a few years ago. How we work, where we work, and even the culture that we work in. The digital push is being welcomed with open-mindedness. And for me, long in the tooth in this space, it's refreshing to see. A new mindset of agility, access, and efficiency, all in the blender. A shift in direction to define tangible ESG-based goals that you can both understand and measure and achieve and implement. Symphony shares this focus as a firm and as a culture. We're scaling our modern platform with the products that support and advance your goals. So that's why today is about movement, how we understand, navigate, and help process your movements, and moving the industry forward together. So let's really begin. As we move forward, the world around us is accelerating and increasing in complexity. I don't think I'm the first to say it, but it's just a reality, and it's somewhat harsh at times. But back in January, I wrote a piece called Risk, Transformation, and Trust, about 10 months ago. And it was looking at the number of volatility events and the speed at which they were happening. And the theory is that these volatility events at speed, in mass, will cause a wide range of disruptions in businesses, industries, and geographies. And look at all that's happened just since January 22. The markets, fixed income volatility is raging. Inflation and interest rates are spiking. Oil, energy, currency crises abound. There's a regulatory ramp just about everywhere. Collateral of all kinds that underpin many things is being repriced virtually by the minute, and probably not up. The technology waves. Elon Musk is buying Twitter. It's a big deal. Web 3.0 is on its journey to regain the control that we lost through Web 2.0 for our lives. Semiconductors and chips are short supply, cybersecurity issues everywhere, and again, more regulation. Quantum is on the horizon. No shortage of geopolitical shocks. All continents in flux and in some chaos. Just today, Liz Truss Boom, gone. If you don't like the weather or politics in London, wait 5 minutes, apparently. It's just going to change. I mean, we're a little fluid over here, but the UK is really in flux, and we see it like literally by the week. Life moments of queens and pandemics, hurricanes, on and on and on. So, Symphony has been here for you through these critical times, in your firm, on your desk, even on your phone. Again, 5 years ago, very little on the phone, except for that email, data graveyard that you saw earlier. But we're moving forward with precision and targeted intent, creating tools that really allow you to connect to your clients without locking you in to anything that you don't choose. 25 years ago, for me, the case was robots would come, take over, and a lot of the tasks done then would be replaced by technology. I think the last couple of years has reminded us that people are actually at the core and the foundation of everything. No matter what we do, it begins or ends with a human at some point. Our networks are powered by a rich directory of humans. We're connecting those humans in their neighborhoods. Today's networks are complex, spanning personal, professional, role, functional distinctions, geographies, from equities to fixed income, and hyper-specialized operations communities. It's embedded, it's interoperable, from order management system platforms to operational portals, we're there. In this volatile moment, Symphony is helping you simplify, connect, and save time, so you can move forward with that same precision. Now, being precise is dependent on having the right inputs or data. Who's heard the phrase, data is the new oil? By show of hands, some. It's been around for probably a decade or two as the internet came. It's a little tired, but I think the analogy works on some level, because data is just the beginning. And if you think of data as similar to crude oil, it needs to go through an actual refining process to be usable. And that's just the nature of a barrel of oil coming out of ground. Refining is a multi-step process. Starts with information, probably through some tagging. It then moves through intelligence, where you may be able to glean a pivot or a query and understand something more than just the data. And then there's a true insight that results in an action. It's that action that is so critical to all of us, and the ability to take it quickly, and maybe in front of somebody else, because that's the nature of a market. But the pace of data creation is accelerating, along with everything else. It's a massive feedback loop. I'm going to quote something from way back. You may have heard this stat before, but in 2018, Forbes was quoted as 2.5 quintillion bytes of data created every day. There's billions, trillions, quadrillions, and quintillions. There's a half a quadrillion of swaps outstanding. Quintillion is a really big number. Over the last 2 years at that time, 90% of the data ever created was created, and for the remainder of history of time, that was 10%. It's massive. Creating and harnessing the processing of this data is really the key. And this is where Symphony comes in. We're actually a major source of data creation. Our numbers are accelerating. 12 months, 60% increase in external messages on our network. 150% increase in buy-side to sell-side connections. 500% increase in the messaging going over our compliant messaging platform with WeChat, WhatsApp, and text. This is all creator data. It's your data, it's your interactions, it's to be used and refined and actioned how you need. And we're here to help. Standardize, transmit your data, getting you to that action faster. It's not just about more data, it's actually about new data, and that new data may matter the most. You'll hear this a lot today, but voice is one of the most interesting areas on our radar. Voice is data, it's the hardest to get, the hardest to refine. We're developing new tools for real-time data classification, cutting out the noise. And your profile in the directory leverages that new data, identifying and connecting with what matters most, a person, an action. Most importantly, your profile, the data created in mind, sent over Symphony is yours, the network's encrypted, and the keys are in your hands. So, more power over your tech and insights, helping you move forward with the actions you choose. These are very intense and high-stakes times. Again, it's on the news, but it does require the right solutions. Symphony, we're building a platform for now, the next moment, and the moment after that. We're really excited about the potential in the voice and telephony space. We're reimagining telephony as part of workflow. We are diving into voice as a new energy source that could be refined as an energy into the markets as a feedback loop. Cloud9 itself is software led and cloud enabled. It's portable, it's flexible. High quality voice networks, by the way, are very unique. High quality, crisp, instant, and on, expediting your transactions, historically only for traders. We are going to democratize voice and bring it back into the markets full stop, from the front, the middle, and the back office, again, with use cases that make sense for that user at that moment. When I'm talking to my daughter and my kids, who are adults now, texting is not talking. You get a lot more out of talking. You just can't do it all the time because maybe it's not convenient, or it's a bit of overhead, or you're just not ready to do it. When my daughter calls me and says, "How are you doing?" and I say, "Okay," it's very different than if I type "okay." If I say, "Okay, okay," she may say, "You don't sound well." It's a totally different dynamic, and I think it's no different than the markets, and the phone is a dead instrument. So we're going to bring the phone and voice back into workflows, into our platform, so voice, chat, text can all work easily together. And in life, as you heard, texting is a really good tool for conversations over email, no doubt. In our industry, it comes with some real challenges. So we're innovating in messaging. We're allowing both compliance and scale. Over $2 billion in fines in our industry this year around non-compliant messaging, a major focus for regulators and an industry issue overall. Your clients and your teams want to use these tools because they're distributed and they're mobile, and these are communication methods they want. Symphony enables you to use these platforms to meet your client where they want to be, to allow your employees to do what they need to do in a compliant manner, avoiding the risk and leveraging the tech. So, voice and compliant messaging now within our platform, enabling this omni-mode communication experience that we all really want. So, in an open and interoperable world, we're giving you that ability to implement the strategy you want, bringing you to your network within the systems you use, less context switching, lower risk, and ultimately saving you time. This means power over your technology to make it work for you. So no matter the macro environment and the waves of volatility that are likely ahead and those shocks, we can flex with you and we can support you.